Venice Beach seems like a scary place to live, at night. It has a reputation for having a lot of crime.
The most dangerous beach in the country.
Can you give me some examples of some of the scariest situations you've been in or craziest things you've seen on the street?
When I was in my temple, our temple had a fence on one wall, and the other wall, I had like this metal, like wire. It was like a wall part. There were some parts that had a wall. There were other parts where it was just tarp and then an aerial yoga ribbon, so that the inside looked really beautiful because there was these colorful yoga ribbons, but the outside was just tarp. So this one time, me and the three goddesses, when stuff would go down, we would go out and give empathy, and we would try to be the healers, and we would do healing circles, and we would like hypnotize people and teach yoga and do chanting, and it was so amazing. This one time, this guy, and there's a reason I told you about the temple and the way it was. He needed empathy. So we came out of the temple and he had a giant piece of driftwood and he began chasing us. And we ran and we didn't know where to run, so we ran inside our temple. He started like beating the temple and destroying our temple, and it was like me first, and then in the middle was Goddess Grace. Oh, and the end was Mia. That was the third goddess. He was like trying to destroy all of our temples. It was so scary. And we didn't, the scariest part was like, we didn't know where it was going to come from. So we were just like, ah! Being loving in this world and living your truth takes bravery. Giving people empathy when they're angry and violent and seeing it as a call to love takes bravery. That person could react in, a lot of different ways. We don't always know how they're going to act. People who go to Venice, they either want to act out their trauma and re-traumatize, or they want to heal it. Just like people go there to party, people also go there to be healers. So me and the goddesses were there to be healers, and we understood the laws of the universe. If you give love, then if they keep coming at you, it's the violence, it's fear. It's not, there's no evil, there's no good or bad, no right or wrong. It's fear. So as long as we just see them as, so we were saying, we love you during the whole attack. We love you, we love you. At this time, the attack stopped. I don't know what came over him, but he was able to calm down. And it was too scary to be in there. I left the temple, and now I'm outside and I'm exposed. We had been yelling empathy to him. He put down the driftwood and rode his bike past, didn't say anything, didn't do anything, and just rode past. And I looked in his eyes. And I was not scared. I was very alert, knowing that I might need to run again. But I was just looking at him lovingly. And that was really, 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 really scary. But there's a reason he left. There was another time that this woman attacked me like several different occasions. And one of the times she attacked me, she randomly slapped me in the face. I started to like just tell her like, I love you, goddess. And then she starts trying to spit at me. So I stepped toward her and I had my arms out and I go, no. And I grabbed her arms because her arms were like up. So I grab her arms, I put him down, and I go, no, hug. And I hug her. She'd already kind of like been like attacking and trying to do things to me, but this was the first time she assaulted me. So that's what I did. I put her arms down, hugged her. And while I'm hugging her, I get this like little scratch, like, no. So I released her, and like I look at my arm, like I don't really have anything here, and I look and she's gone. So I'm like, okay, because I was being loving and it was my truth. She disappeared off the beach, like she got arrested. I knew this because then I saw her, and as I told you, I moved to the fence. Like the time she attacked me, it wasn't by the fence, but the next time I saw her, she was right by the fence, yoga where my temple was. She literally had all of her stuff and had just set up right next to my temple, this woman who had attacked me. And I'm like, whoa, like she thinks she's gonna live next to me. Like that's what it's like. outside. I was just like, huh. And I'm there with one of my friends, and I'm standing there with a latte and a bottle of water. I also happen to be topless. I'm just like by my temple, and I'm with my friend at the beach, and I'm used to being topless. Like, this is Venice. I do what I want. And she and I are talking, and she's telling me how she just got out of jail. And, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, well, you assaulted me before. Maybe you assaulted someone else. So I'm like having this pleasant conversation with her, standing here with my latte and my water. And all of a sudden, she attacks me out of nowhere. And it caught me off guard because we were just having this nice conversation. And she hit my latte out of my hand, and it went in my hair. I wasn't ready for it. So I was like, whoa, goddess. I took my bottle of water and I go, and I like rinsed all of my hair out in front of her. And then I'm like, and it was so badass, like got all this matcha out. And then I look at her, I smile, and I go, that's what's up, goddess. I thank you. My hair loves matcha. It's like a clay of love for the hair. I gotcha. Thank you. She points at me and starts laughing, and she says, look. And I look down, and there's like a scratch mark on my breast. And then I look up at her, and I go, yo, goddess, you got the matcha in my hair. I was like, you came at me, you attacked me. Do you realize that this is the call to love? And if I put my arms out to hug you like I did before, that this is the power pose. And this is what I did to her. I go ahead and come at me again. I was like, I'm ready this time. And this is what I did to her. I was like, come on, come at me. I was like, I know all you need is a hug. And she starts screaming and packing all of her stuff up, piling it into her arms, zipping up her big, huge suitcase, and starts dragging her stuff down the boardwalk. And I kind of start like pacing and following her because she's still screaming at me. So I'm following, I'm listening deeply, and I'm kind of like nodding my head, like, uh-huh. And every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, everything you say about me is most likely true. But what part of you is speaking right now, goddess? Like, why are you so violent? Like, what's happened to you? This has been done to you. This is not really who you are. And I'm just like following her. And she left. And I didn't see her again after that. That was the last time I saw her, and that was the last time she attacked me. But that doesn't mean that that's the last time she saw me. Because my love is so powerful. There was another really scary situation where this guy smashed my temple. And my love is so powerful. I'm able to melt an open heart. This guy, I was not loving with him. He attacked me. It was during the time of building tiny homes on wheels. And I built a temple, getting ready to move into it and live at the beach. Because housing's been really just an insecurity for me. I have this gorgeous temple. It's like a piece of art, and it's on wheels. So beautiful. So I wheeled my temple to Santa Monica, and I was right over the border of Venice Beach. And there's a big difference. Like in Venice Beach, there's always backup. But in Santa Monica, there's no backup. Now, I could deal with the women attacking me, but if a guy attacks me, like my only option is like run away. Like at that point, I don't want to put my arms out and try to take someone on who's coming at me at that point. So you want to size up your enemy and be smart with that. This guy was not someone that I wanted to do that with. He got triggered because he was most likely on some kind of a substance. It doesn't really matter, but I offered to do some healing for him. Like one of the things I like to do is I like to do acrobatic body work and dance on bodies, flow strokes. Flow strokes is my creation. So I offered to do flow strokes for him on the grass. I was not going to let him use my jacket. And then this other guy comes over and I offer my jacket to him and I do flow strokes on him. And then now I'm going to do flow strokes for this other person who is most likely unhoused and going through stuff. He asks me if he could do it on my jacket, just like this guy did. I said no. I don't want you to because I don't know you like that. Please use like your own jacket. This caused him to get really triggered and start screaming and yelling at me and attacking me. And it was really scary. And he chased me away. And when I ran away, then he started to grab my skateboard and my water bong and my belongings, and he proceeded to throw my stuff everywhere. And when I run back, then now he proceeds to attack, try to attack me. There's like a big piece of, because I do woodwork, so there's like a 2x4, like a big long piece of it, and it's just like a piece of my art that I'm using, and sometimes I use it to balance with, and it's pretty long, big piece of 2x4. He picks this thing up and starts like trying to attack me with it. So I have no choice but to let him like break my bong, throw my skateboard, smash my temple. It was so scary. Nobody would help me. I'm asking people walking by, no one would help me. It was really scary. I flagged down the police, Santa Monica police. They see him. They didn't even do anything. They didn't get him. They didn't do anything. It was really annoying. I realized that police don't do anything, so I had to do something because that guy was dangerous. And I'm Daisy the Venice Healer, and we can't have guys like that attacking women at the beach. I decided I gotta find this guy. I put the word out. Sure enough, we found him. And he set up in front of Starbucks. He was in Venice Beach. I went and got the Brooks Boys, also known as the Wolf Pack. They're like a local gang of enforcers, and it's like the local vendors and community members and people who live there. It's like the locals coming together. And it's not like organized crime. It's just like local enforcement. We don't need to call the cops. We just get the enforcers. 8 people dragged this guy who, when we found him, he was yelling violence to the boardwalk and was out of control. So 8 people had to drag this guy because he just started attacking people. And then when everyone came, he starts running away because I went over first and he starts running down to attack me. And then the wolf pack's right behind me. He starts running away. It was like this whole thing. But they could see what I was saying, that this guy was really dangerous. And I was like, look, watch, I'm going to show you. And I went over. Sure enough, he went to attack me. I'm a superhero, right? So I'm going to tell you something about being a superhero. The villains are not villains. It's a call to love, and they need empathy and support. They need trauma healing. And I'm going to tell you something about them. Their most likely victim is going to be nature, like animals and plants. The vulnerable bugs, they're going to hurt. And then they're going to move up the ladder of vulnerability. And then it's going to go babies, kids, women, elderly women. And then it's going to be elderly men. And very, very last is mature, healthy, strong men. They're the least likely to get bullied. Yet, they're the least likely to be victimized. They are victimized all the time. So think about that. And as a superhero, knowing that it's more likely for women and children and animals and vulnerable to get victimized, I'm a superhero. I know I got to pay attention to that. And if I see someone doing that at the beach, and I know that this guy is going to be attacking kids, he's going to be attacking elders, he's going to be hurting animals, he's going to be going after women. But he's not going to go after men. No, especially if they're bigger than them or more than them. It's always the same, whether it's like John the bully coming to the beach, yelling stuff at me for over 4 years. This huge boxer guy that's like 6'5", an elder guy, he's like probably 65, 70, lives in his car, comes to the beach just to harass women every day, like me. But if I'm there with King Big Ben, my partner right now, he won't say anything. I know that's how bullies are. So with this guy in particular, I go and I get the wolf pack because they don't like bullies, just like I know. And I'm Daisy the Venice Healer. And I'm really powerful. And part of my power is I know when to ask for backup. Superman knows when to go get the Justice League. So that's what I did. Unfortunately, this guy didn't want to talk. Like, I went first because I wanted to talk. If he wanted to talk, he wouldn't have had to go and bite with the wolf pack. He wanted to bite. He came out biting. So he went to go bite. So then they went to go bite him. And they chased him, just like he chased me. And I didn't ask for any of that. But that's what needs to happen, because the vibrations cancel each other out. And then maybe he's not going to do that again because he knows that I'm going to go get the wolf pack. If you mess with a bean, you get the whole burrito. If you mess with a wolf, you get the wolf pack. The strength of the wolf is in the wolf pack, and the strength of the wolf pack is in the wolf. And if you know that, then you'll know why a crow will dive bomb and attack, and the way that this crow will behave against a predator bird many times its size, you'll be like, that was a brave crow. That's because the crow knows it's got the flock, and the flock is not far behind because we're co-regulating, and that's exactly what I do. So I respond with the most amount of love and care, but I also know that we need to use the least amount of force and control. So I come with force and control, grounded in love and care. This guy in particular needed to be dragged away. I asked the enforcer, just one guy dealt with him. He dealt with him one-on-one. You know, it's like a skinny Asian guy, a tall, skinny Asian, half Asian guy. Not that intimidating looking. He's like, yeah, he didn't want to listen, he didn't want to talk. So I had to use rough affection. And some of these guys need rough affection. He was not jumped, he was not mutilated, brutalized, humiliated. No. He was chased into an alley, and then finally when he was knocked to the ground, he still wanted to bite and attack. This poor being is hurting, and he needed to be roughed up a little so he would stop biting, so that he would listen long enough to hear, like, this is not okay. And when he was calm enough to stop biting and receive the message, like, this guy walked away apparently. So that's what needed to happen. And typically I'm able to find and identify and execute and get things done. And part of being Daisy the Venice Healer is I know everything. People tell me everything. They come to me, they share with me who said what, who did what, and then I identify, I wonder what this person is feeling. And I see it as a call to love. I don't see it as I need to go punish this person. I need to go force and control them. I need to go make them. I need to go convince them. No, I think like, what's the need? And then I go try to meet the need. Like somebody came to me, there was a difficult case. I kept getting reports of a dog being abused. And I keep hearing about this German Shepherd, and this German Shepherd's getting beaten in the face. I start to witness the dog getting beat. And then everyone's coming to me, and then they start saying, yeah, there's this dog over at Rose Avenue, a German Shepherd with the lady there with the glasses, and she's like beating the dog in the face, and now she's putting the dog in a crate that is way too tiny for the dog, and she's covering it with tarp, and it's really hot, and the dog is in there panting all day, bored, having no existence, just getting taken out and fed and having minimal needs getting met and living a life of torture. And I'm getting these reports, and then I go witness with my own eyes. I go one day and I bring some of my friends and I say to her, hi goddess, how are you thriving? And how can I support you? I care about you and your needs matter to me. And she starts telling me some of her stuff, and she's sleeping in a tent and they're moving her, and people are accusing her about her dog, and I start to give her some empathy. And then I think it's time now to let her know that, people are coming to me, and I guess they're coming to you too. I'm here to talk to you about that, and I'm here to see if I could bridge the gap, to see what's happening for you, and if we could meet your needs, because there's some kind of disharmony and lack of resources or support. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing this. And the reason you're hitting the dog and you think it's okay is because that was done to you. And that makes sense, because I used to hit my dog in the face, and I used to hit my kids. I used to get humiliated the same way. And in order to break those chains, I had to talk about it the way I am right now with you. And I also broke the chains of alcoholism and cocaine and all sorts of attachment style strategies to meet my needs that are no longer beneficial to me, and I've had to let go. I call them behavioral patterns. And I take these target behaviors, like hitting in the face, and then I look at them without shame. I will identify like what I want to do instead by looking back and using the hindsight of what I wish I did instead of hitting. So maybe I wish I took a break, or wish I called an empathy buddy. And then I will create foresight by imagining what I do in the future. She told me she was interested in learning about it, but that she was going to be moving soon to the Netherlands to go on this amazing journey and like create all this positive change. And she didn't want to hit her dog in the face, but she was just trying to discipline her. But she agreed like there was better ways, and she was used to getting hit in the face, and that was normal to her. And she could see that that was not within her values either. And I constantly have these conversations with people at the beach. One of the less triggering things, I want to give you like a range of what I deal with, and I could give you a lot of examples of whatever you want, but I'm going to give you a range. One of the kind of unlikely people, but I work with the, police. I work with the city workers. One of the parks and recreation officers came over to me and he said, there's a woman and I pay her for her company. And I feel as if she doesn't care about me or honor my time and she's just using me for money. And I asked him, I said, what does she use to numb out before you guys are intimate with each other? And he said, what? I said, does she use alcohol? Does she use any type of drug? What does she use to numb out? And that's always my first question when I hear about selling bodies. I say, what do you use to numb out? And if the person is paying for the body, they may join the other person in what they're using to numb out just to be at the same level as them. Or they may use something to numb out too, of their own choice. Or they may not use anything to numb out at all. But the person who is being paid for their body, 100% of the time they will have to numb out. And if they don't have the option to numb out, they will ask the person who is paying them to help them with that. They will ask them to buy them drugs. And I know this. He said, oh, like she smokes fentanyl. I said, oh, thank you. Thank you for telling me. And I said, is that the kind of relationship that you want? Is that in alignment with who you are? Do you want to have intimacy with somebody who has to take fentanyl first in order to numb out so that they don't have to have the full experience of being intimate with you? Is that what you want? And he said, well, I would never get a girl as beautiful as her. And I said, that's right. You believe that, but that's not true. I said, I used to believe that too. I used to believe that I could never have somebody like who I was attracted to, that they would have to be older than me, that they couldn't be younger than me, or they couldn't be my age even. That they would have, and then that they would pay me too, and I wouldn't amount. Like, on the other end of it, I could see how if I wasn't healed, I would have been a sugar baby because I would believe, like, no man who's good looking would ever want me. I'm wondering if you believe this. Because at the root of paying somebody or being for sale, you believe that, like, no one would ever want you. And this is a wound that comes from being humiliated. This is a wound that comes from being exploited. And it is a wound from sometimes being sexually assaulted in whatever degree. And he said, you're right. And I said, do you want to be a participant of her re-traumatizing? Because you are taking a victim of sexual violence. Because if she is a woman and selling her body, she has been molested. You will never sell your body unless you were molested and then called a liar. If you were molested and then told that you make sense and then healed and received with warm regard, you will never sell your body or be for sale. If you are for sale, it is because you were sold, exploited, abused, most likely when you were a baby or a toddler. And that formed you so that you could then numb out and be for sale, because that makes you feel like power. And that's sort of a way of reenacting trauma and re-traumatizing, but it's also making you feel powerful in the foundation that was laid there. It's at least better than what happened. I said, do you want to work with the foundation that was put there and make it different? Or do you want to keep playing with that same foundation? And he said, what do you mean? And I said, do you want to keep having these unhealthy relationships? Because there's the dismissive attachment style, disorganized attachment style, and anxious preoccupied attachment style. And then the fourth one is the integration piece, where we're fully healed and in the space of healing our trauma and becoming our best, highest self. And that is the secure attachment style, when we are truthful, transparent, and honest, and there is no separation between our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. And secure attachment style means that you are not afraid in your relationships. You do not withhold information. You do not sell your body. You do not create sacred things that we do together. Like, food is sacred, our body is sacred, sex is sacred. You do not make that for sale. These are injuries that I'm constantly wanting to heal, whether it's like making our food not sacred, making sex not sacred. And poor people are just the victims of of domination systems, and domination systems are just market economy married to government. And market economy married to government is just a manifestation of the kings and queens, and kings and queens are just a manifestation of those of which we outcasted from our tribe. And if you want to go even deeper down the rabbit hole, those who we outcasted from our tribe were the parts of ourselves that we were not ready yet to heal. Because we were not able to do the healing and integration work, and we outcasted others, those outcasted became conquerors. And once they became conquerors, they became rulers. And once you have rulers, then you have laws. And once you have laws, then you have taxes. And once you have taxes, now you have enforcers. And then that's how we became market economy and government. And you need market economy and government. They have to marry each other because that's what kings and queens do. So Daisy the Venice Healer understands this. And one of the wounds is animals get enslaved, children get enslaved, we get enslaved. And we get enslaved by being workers, and then we pay taxes. And who's the kings and queens? The top 1%. And in order to be the top 1%, you have to be even more traumatized than the rest. So the Donald Trumps of the world are actually the most traumatized. And we're all in varying stages of healing, right? So it doesn't mean that like everyone is traumatized the same. Like we're all in different stages of developmental learning and growth, and it's all in a spectrum and dimensional. And if we can just be in the consciousness of attuning to bodies, co-regulating with nervous systems, and collaborating to meet needs, we would see that our bodies are not for sale, and that our energies and intentions are not for sale, and our meaning and purpose exists, and that we are not workers, and that at the root of taking ourselves out is not feeling alive. And if we don't feel alive, we won't want life. That's why we will unalive ourselves, because we want to have a meaning and purpose so that we have a reason to be alive and we feel alive. And if we feel alive, we want life, and then we're alive. And now we can become ageless and upgrade our DNA. So I've been trying to let everyone know. And I told the city worker guy, like, look, you're in market economy, so you're used to like paying for your needs. And you can have a beautiful woman, even if you want a younger woman, because unfortunately this woman's like a teenager in her early 20s. And to me, like, that's a form of rape. If you're taking someone who doesn't want to have sex with you and you pay them to make you have sex with you, make them, and they don't want to, but now they're having sex with you and they really don't want to, like, that's rape. And yeah, you paid them, but like Oprah Winfrey was bought an ice cream after she got raped when she was a child. And being like, I don't know, 6 to 8 year old little girl and getting bought an ice cream doesn't make rape okay. And the ice cream was bought after. Like sometimes prostitution you get paid before. Like it's rape. I let people know that like on the spectrum, like when you contribute to these energies, you're contributing to the suffering of the world, which is on a spectrum. And on a spectrum, like it's happening to little kids. And we want to be part of another vibration. This is the city worker who, this Parks and Recs guy, like, I talk to him a lot. It's on my live stream, and that YouTube channel has since, actually, it might still be up, but my YouTube channels and TikToks are always getting deleted. So I'm so grateful for you, Grady, for taking this interview. And also, I'm grateful for Goddess Jennifer Nana for setting it up, because my stuff always gets deleted, and I don't want that. It's not an affirmation. It's because it's controversial. People have big reactions to what I say. They either hate it or they love it, and they're torn. And that's what makes me so popular and unlovable no matter what. I'm really honest and truthful and transparent. I want to give it to people as they're ready, but at the same time, like, it's like, it might be a little jarring at first, but I think we're all ready.